This podcast is meant for mature audiences only and contains strong sexual language. Welcome to Sex, Love, and the Black Experience with your hosts, Miss Kiki Love and Miss Nisha B of Orgasmic Melanin Goddesses. We're just two dope sisters who love to talk about sex and give our amazing guests a platform to share their experiences and expertise as it pertains to sex, love, and the Black experience. So let's get started. All right. So welcome to another episode of Sex, Love, and the Black Experience with the Orgasmic Melanin Goddesses. I'm Miss Nisha B.
And I'm Miss Kiki Love.
And we have an amazing guest. I'm so giddy because when we met this guest in Atlanta, first of all, Kiki actually told me about Waya.
Mm-hmm.
And we were so excited just about like the milestones and just how you're making history. And we were just so excited that you came to the convention, the Bedroom Candy Convention in Atlanta. And so let me just introduce you and then give you a little bit of background, and then we're gonna have a conversation. So Waya the Healer is a two-spirit trans masculine individual, a social media personality, a kink enthusiast, entrepreneur, model, and public speaker. And boy, have you been doing all of that like crazy. Like you are doing the damn thing. Right. So also want to share that Waya has a clothing brand called AM ME Apparel. So of course we're going to put all of that in the show notes. How you can get in touch with Waya, but let's just begin the conversation. So Waya, you want to just kind of tell everybody a little bit more? You know, that was a little bio. Tell us a little bit more about who you are, what you're about. And we're excited because today is the last day of Trans Awareness Week. So we're really excited that we, got you on this show right in time. And let's talk a little bit about that.
Bet. Okay, cool. Well, as you had just mentioned, that of course, I mean, pretty much you pretty much touched on everything in a nutshell about me, just in a short version. But my main goal is to open the world to trans representation. There's not enough Black trans representation. There's not enough Indigenous trans representation.
Yes.
And there's not enough of two-spirit individuals that are represented in the entertainment industry, which is something I'm heavily indulged in. Of course, as you know, I'm a model. I've also you can go ahead and add actor to that as well.
Okay.
So I have actually been touching on my acting and getting heavy into that. I have several projects that are coming up. Just can't talk about them yet. Confidentiality, but my manager has set me up with a lot of different things. So my name is in a lot of rooms of some very well-known people that y'all have watched to date.
Okay.
So
well, acting is my baby. That's what I used to do. I used to be a professional actress years ago. It's been years, but so yeah, congratulations on that.
I appreciate that. You're gonna have to shoot me some of your work and your projects that you've been in so I can check it out.
Yeah, we'll do. So you can don't throw tomatoes at the screen though.
We all start somewhere. Let me tell you something. The first movie that y'all gonna see me out in, I did it. I wrapped it up like last month, and it's gonna be on Tubi. So
okay. So you know what? People give Tubi a bad rap. Let me just tell you something, especially coming in that industry. I ain't mad. These people actually got something produced, put it on TV. People all over are watching it. That is like amazing. So people who are talking about them, it's like, okay, let's see what you can do. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like when I said Tubi, Tubi's not the only thing. I think they're also working on Netflix. So we'll probably be
awesome. Well. Okay, you have to let us know so that we can watch it.
I will. Absolutely. I will for sure.
And promote it.
Yeah, it's called Walk With Me, and I know for sure it will be out next year, 2024. They haven't given us the specific dates. I know we're gonna have like a wrap up party for everybody that was in the movie and stuff like that. So if I get some information on that, I will definitely let y'all know.
Awesome. Yeah, we down to support you. Like we are like your biggest fans.
I appreciate y'all. Y'all have genuinely, truly been like some of those people that you come across certain people in life that you can just genuinely see that they really just want to see you succeed. And like,
Yes.
and y'all two have literally been that, since day one, since I met y'all, since y'all
Aw.
found out that I was a part of Bedroom Candy, like, and then finding out more about me and then understanding more about me, and just like y'all went to my pages, engaged, found out more that I do, and I was just like, they're real. So I was like,
Yeah.
they know stuff that I forgot that I did. I didn't know I did that.
No, the love is definitely real, right? And when Bedroom Candy launched and said the very first trans man influencer, I instantly got excited and I instantly went to your page and was following you and your work and what you do, because we are allies for the community. We
Right.
support the community. And I instantly DM'd you. Do you remember that conversation I had with you, Waya?
I do.
And I told you, and I said to you, I said, the love and the support is real, and we are very genuine. And whatever you need, you got it.
Right.
And we love you, we support you, and we are so excited to have you be a part of the Melanated Sex Expo.
Woo, woo, woo!
As an official sponsor,
Yes,
for our Melanated Sex Expo. So we just want to say from the bottom of our black ass hearts, thank you so much for loving us and supporting us
and trusting us.
And trusting us, like sight unseen. Like a lot of people are like, these two have something.
Right.
These two really have something. What is it that y'all doing? And because y'all are getting big ass fucking names, and I'm like, it's literally love. Like,
yeah,
the love and the support is real. So we just want to say thank you so much for trusting in us and saying yes.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Like we're very grateful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and it falls in line with what you're doing. It's about awareness, and that's what we want to do, is bring awareness to people of color that we are not a monolith. We're all different. We regular everyday people. You just happen to be trans. You know what I'm saying? So it's like like you're not shouldn't be put in like a glass behind glass. We're just regular people.
Absolutely. So we again, like I said, and Waya smells good as fuck, y'all. I just have to say that. Like when I told Waya,
she be on them smells,
man, because I don't do smell like boo boo now. Don't play with me.
I'm with you. Don't be stinking around me, baby, please.
Listen, when I met Waya and her delicious girlfriend,
cutie pie,
baby, I said, we can get a throuple going on, little girl.
Here y'all go.
Like, you know what I mean? And I was like, why you smelling all good and stuff? Like, you trying to have a throuple type of situation.
You can thank Bedroom Candy for that, baby.
We can do this.
Like, well, you probably ain't said nothing but a word, right?
Period. Period. And we'll do it. And
all I'm gonna say is what happens in Arizona.
Thank you for my man type energy, because I will be on that. Yeah. No, but it was just so good meeting y'all officially.
Yeah.
At the Bedroom Candy Conference. And this will be your first time to Phoenix, correct?
Yes. Well, it'll be my first time staying. I've been to Phoenix before.
Okay.
You've been through.
Yeah, I've been through.
Just stroll through.
Passed through us traveling, going to California, and then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all you saw was Sky Harbor, the airport.
No, actually, I was on the bus.
Oh, okay.
And I've actually been through twice. Actually, I drove at my own vehicle before.
What?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, sir.
Yeah, I don't.
It's hey, that's a story for a different time. And a different
Right.
podcast.
Okay, we're gonna have to listen. We're gonna have to hear that story on some downtime.
Yeah,
So
we'll
can you
probably
tell
talk
us?
about that one after a few drinks after the expo.
Right,
We'll talk
right,
about that
right,
one.
right. What do you mean by two-spirited?
Okay, so Two Spirit is an indigenous term for anybody that falls under, the third gender, whether that be you are transgender, whether that be you are, gay, lesbian, howsoever. But Two Spirit are still individuals that are believed to practice ancestral an ancestral inheritance. So it's a spiritual thing. It's not just about, how, of course, we go by they them pronouns, and some go by just he him, some people go by just she her. Like, it doesn't really matter. What it is that we're tapped in spiritually to our masculinity and femininity, basically, on a spiritual level, on an ancestral level. So that's why it can only be used by a person who has indigenous heritage or an actual full-blooded indigenous person.
Mm.
Okay.
And you are indigenous.
Mm-hmm.
You're okay.
Yeah, and the only way you find out you're a two-spirit individual is by an indigenous elder, so a chief, or somebody within the elder of a tribe. My mentor was a chief of the Lenape, and I was very concerned. I was using they them pronouns, but I was like, it's more. I was like, I feel who I am on a spiritual level, not on just transitioning to from female to male. I feel deeper, and of course, I already knew I was indigenous. I know I have Cherokee soul and Blackfoot in my family. So I was very aware of my indigenous background. I grew up around it my whole life. But I didn't know if it was okay for me to publicly use being two-spirit. So as I worked with him throughout my spiritual journey, because he was my spiritual mentor. So as I worked through my spiritual journey, he was like, you do know you're two-spirit. And I was like, oh, it's okay for me to say that. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, you have been two-spirit your whole life. That's why you have had such a long road and a long journey, because you are different from everybody. You are a man. He's like, but there is a very big two-spirit connected energy in you, and it's come down a long line of your family. And I was like, oh, well, that makes sense about everything that I've ever experienced in life. So that is what being two-spirit is. And that's why when you see people, kind of upset that you see a person who may be white passing, or a person who's like only Black, saying that they're a two-spirited person or two-spirit individual, that indigenous people get upset, because it is something that only indigenous people can use. So it's not like they're trying to say you can never be who you are. It's just don't use two-spirit. That's the only thing they ask. Like and there's different words and terminologies throughout different tribes. They call it different things. Two-spirit is just kind of a universal terminology that we use so that people that speak English can understand it. But if you speak your actual language of your tribe, it's called several different things throughout different tribes. But all in all, it's considered a person who is two-spirit, pretty much.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that.
I love
yeah,
that.
of course.
That we would have never even known that. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, because I mean, it's something that's very, very protected among several tribes in an indigenous culture, just because of how sacred it is. We don't want it to be commercialized. We don't want it to be something that's like normalized among other communities, because it's not like anything else. And that's why, like, I do say that I am, but I don't go about, parading it like I would, that I am a trans person, not saying that it's wrong to say that you're a trans person. I want to clarify that I am a trans individual who's very open about being trans.
Right.
I just want to clarify that there are certain things that are sacred and are meant to stay sacred.
That's right. That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks for sharing.
It's not commercialized Caucasian.
Yes, that's thank you. We're not calling.
Put that on the goddamn t-shirt, hole, because you will get 2 chops to the throat.
Just believe me, I've had to talk to some people like real quick and be like, no, this is not colonizing. Do not compare this to being non-binary.
Not today, colonizer. Not today.
Period.
Don't do that.
Period.
So, do you mind sharing with us your journey into like coming into realizing that you are trans, you know, from the time of birth, and you know, what was that journey like for you? And how, you know, how do you, where has it taken you today?
Phew, all right. Discovering I was trans. Okay, well, I'll say it like this. You know, I'm from a small town, Lumberton, North Carolina. In North Carolina, some people know it. A lot of people don't until I say like Fayetteville, Fort Bragg area, and then people realize what I'm talking about. Which is like 30 minutes, 35, 40 minutes.
So you was in the South too? Woo!
Yeah, I'm born and raised North Carolina. North Carolina,
Okay.
born and raised through and through. But yeah, I mean, where I'm from, they only know two things: you're a girl or you're a boy,
right?
You know? And for most part, yeah, I was born female, but for the most part, I always felt like a boy. I was always around my boy cousins. I was always playing with boy toys. Like my mom bought me Barbies and stuff like that, and I burnt them. Like I was like taking their heads off, like decapitating them. Like the only person I kept alive was Ken because it was a boy. You know.
Wait a minute, my child did all of that, and I was trying to live vicariously. And I never had a Barbie or the Barbie house, so I bought my child a Barbie house. When I tell you that Barbie was emo, jacked up and everything, I was like,
I tell people because we went to see Barbie, the movie, the new Barbie.
That was a good movie.
It was actually
deeper
really
than
good.
what people think.
But it was something that I actually was a part of my childhood healing, because that was kind of forced on me to play with Barbies. Like, you need to play with Barbies because you're a girl and this is what girls do. This and this. I even had a Barbie Jeep and everything. I had a Power Wheels Barbie Jeep and everything. Like, I was cool with that. I was cool with that.
I'm jealous. I couldn't get none of that.
I was cool with that because I was acting like my daddy, trying to fix it with my little fake make-believe tools and stuff like that. So I was like, I'm cool with that. We can keep the Barbie Jeep. But that Barbie got to go. But I was saying how they brought up the weird Barbie, and every kid had a weird Barbie. And that was a fact. I had a weird Barbie. I mean, I would split my Barbie in half. Like, I would draw on her with the crayons. Like, it was like all types of stuff was going on with that Barbie. But yeah, you know, that was a part of my childhood healing, because it helped me to realize that those things didn't define who I was going to become. Regardless, you know, I'm a grown ass man going to see a Barbie movie with a bunch of girls like that are in the in the theater, and we all laughing and kikiing at the Barbie movie, and it was just such a beautiful full circle moment for me. And when we walked out, you know, I was talking to my girl, and I was like, I don't think you realize like how big of a step that was for me, because that helped me to realize that doesn't define my masculinity just because I wanted to go see a Barbie movie.
Right.
I wanted to go see a Barbie movie because I like Margot Robbie. I like the movie, and I thought it was funny. I love Ryan Reynolds. Like, was it Ryan Gosling? Ryan Gosling. I like Ryan Gosling. I was like, I want to see
They all the same. They all the same. It's all right.
Yeah.
I like them both though too. Yeah,
no, I do. I like both of them though, for sure. But yeah, so more in depth about my transition. When I turned 13, I sat down with my mom, because I was born and raised in a religious household. I was raised a Jehovah's Witness. So I sat down with her, and I was like, I don't feel like a girl. I feel like a boy. And you know, and she was just like, okay, how do you feel like a boy? You know, she laughed it off. Like, she laughed at me like okay.
It was probably nervous laughter.
Yeah, like, because I mean it was, but it wasn't. But at the same time, it was just like, okay, yeah, it's a phase. You're gonna get through it. All right, cool.
Like most parents do, thinking that they're, you know, when their child is having a serious conversation about something that serious, they think it's just a phase.
Yeah.
Right. Or it's just, oh, you're gonna get out of that. It's just whatever.
Exactly.
I'm guilty. I did that as a parent. Yeah. I did that as a parent to mine, and it was a lesson I had to learn. So I can totally understand. I can totally relate from a parental from a parent's standpoint. You want your kid, you want them, you want life to be easy for them. You don't want it to be hard, and you know that that's a hard life, and that's really what it is. And so you don't want that, but it's not about you. And that's what I had to learn as a parent. So I'm just sharing that with you, why as a parent who went through that, who has a trans child. So
yeah, I get that. I definitely do. But then it went from well, like I said, that's why I emphasize that I came from a religious household and that I was Jehovah's Witness. Jehovah's Witness have very, very strict beliefs. We don't celebrate the holidays. I've never celebrated a birthday until I became an adult. We do not believe in LGBT. You are not trans, you are not queer, you are not gay, you are not lesbian. Sexual conversations are not even had until you're of age to understand what it is that you are supposed to be doing as you get of age and hit puberty and start talking about it. I mean, I barely really talked about sex. My concepts of sex came from me just discovering things on my own. Pretty much. I had a very big self-discovery journey with sex in general. But yeah, once I became 16, a lot of things shifted. You know, it's funny because like even my sister would tell her, she's like, if because Kelly is my actual name, so my biological name. So she was like, if Kelly was gonna grow out of this, she would have done it by now, mom. Like,
right.
She's 16. Like
right.
What part of almost being an adult have you not gotten? The point of I was always a tomboy. I was always wearing boyish clothes. I was always wearing masculine stuff, unless we had to go to what we call meetings, where I was forced to wear heels and a dress consistently. Horror, horror. My whole life.
Right.
The horror.
It's horror of wearing heels, even just period.
As a woman, I know.
Let alone you don't want to.
Like, as a woman that identifies with being a woman, it's
right. Hello.
But yeah, so then 16 comes around, 17 years old. I've graduated from high school. I graduated from high school a year early. So, they had my graduation party. It was great. I had an amazing graduation party. All my family showed up at my aunt's house. It was a surprise party. I didn't know nothing about it. Of course, I always felt very dysphoric about my body because it was a pool party. So I had to wear a bathing suit and stuff like that. And like, I would tell my mom, like, can I wear shorts? And she's like, no, just go wear your stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to wear, a bathing suit where I'm showing my whole body out like that. Like, it makes me feel uncomfortable. And she's like, well, it's your party. Go do this stuff. You're like, don't nobody care. You a girl. Go do this. I'm like, I'm not, but okay. But, so 17, I'm almost coming into adulthood. 18, I had a very big, my mother and I had a very big argument. And I consistently kept telling her once again, I like women and I do not feel like a girl. I was like, I will pretend to be gay for you. But I'm not going to fake and be a hypocrite and continue to go to a religion that I don't believe in. And that was when it was like immediately, because even at a young age, she had already told me she would choose her religion over her child.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's why, like, even though y'all were like relaying like how a parent is, I have to go into depth with how deep this is. My mother did choose her religion over her child. That was her choice. But at the end of the day, that put a very strained connection between us, because to me, it's like, so you're telling me you believe in a whole organization over the child you gave birth to, is what you're telling me. So if I choose to live my life authentically, you're telling me that I don't exist to you pretty much anymore. So,
can I interject? I have a question, follow-up question, because one of the things you had said was that you were like, okay, then I'll just say that I'm gay, right? As opposed to being trans. Do you find that like were people more accepting of you just gay versus saying that you're trans? Do you find that was an easier transition for people, even not maybe outside of your family, but like even your friends, like, oh, you just gay, versus you saying, no, I feel like I am a man?
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. That's why I said that, because for most part, a lot of us as trans men, we were studs or masculine presenting women.
Right.
And but for the most part, we always felt like that. It's just that it was more openly acceptable to be a gay woman or a masculine presenting lesbian than to actually say, hey, my whole life I felt like a boy and y'all just wouldn't accept it. So the easiest thing I felt like would keep me to have family or friends was to say, oh, I'm just gay. But regardless of what I would say with my mother, it didn't matter. Being gay was wrong. Being lesbian was wrong. Like all of it was fucking wrong, So it didn't
Right,
really matter.
right.
But the most part of what happened when I was 18, we got into our argument and I left. I left. Like I packed up what I could and I put it in my little Saturn that I got when I was graduated that my godfather got me, and I left for a while. I was living out my car for a little bit, and I came back. And I stayed there up until I want to say I was like 21, and then we had another argument that got even worse. And what had happened was they kept trying to keep my phone away from me because I was contacting girls. I was contacting women, contacting females, and so I wasn't allowed to have a cell phone at 21 years old.
What?
Yes. These are things I'm telling y'all that a lot of people don't even know. Y'all are actually getting the exclusive on this. This has only ever been told between myself and my family before.
Well, thank you for sharing. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I have to, because for the longest of time, that's how deep it was for me. I felt like if I told my side of the story and I told how I felt, that I was like making them look bad, or if I told how things affected me, oh, what are you trying to make your family out to be? Like I had to get that out of my head. I had to realize that if I'm gonna be authentic and be that representation for that trans youth boy that's out there that just wants to come out to his family and say, hey, this is who I am, this is me, I have to tell my whole story. I can't give itty bitty here and tits and pieces and try to like kind of sugarcoat it so that my family members look bad. They know what they did.
Yeah, but it's not about making but why it's not about making people look bad. It's about telling your story, because you got so many people out here that are looking to, you know what I'm saying? When you telling your story, then it makes them open up and be able to tell theirs. So it's and thank you for sharing that. That it's like I don't want to, I'm not trying to make my family the enemy. It just is what it is.
No, and period. I mean, once I get done with the story, you'll start to hear where I'm at with everything. But at 21, basically we kind of got into a semi-physical altercation. I'll say that. Wow. Because I was trying to keep my phone, and like they were trying to pry it off of me, basically. And I just kind of like was like, stop, no, I don't want my phone. Like I just want to talk to people, and like they were like, no, you're talking to people you're not supposed to be talking to. And I was just like, okay, fine. So after that, they packed up my stuff and drove me to my brother's in Charlotte, North Carolina. And of course, my brother's not in a religion or nothing like that. He does his own thing. He left when he was like 18. I'm the baby of the family. So my mom only has 3 children. I have an older brother who's like in his 40s now. My sister's in her 40s and I'm in my 30s. So I'm like 11 years apart from my sister. So I'm like the baby.
Well, you're the baby.
I'm the baby. Yeah, I'm the surprise baby. So they dropped me off over there, and then like my mom is crying in the front seat. She's like, what can we do? What can I do to change it? I was like, you can't change me from being who I am.
Right.
No matter what you want to do, the only thing you could ever do is just accept it. Like that's the only thing that you can ever do to make this an easier transition. I get this hard on you, but it wasn't that long coming. Like you knew. Like it's not like I waited till I was 20 something years old to all of a sudden tell you that I felt like a boy and that I was a lesbian. Like I didn't wait. I told you when I was a teenager. So there was a lot of foresight here. Like I gave you a lot of information to kind of like what you call it, dissect and digest and get into your system, to learn, do some research on before assessing it. I did all of that. You just refused. So you're feeling like it's all of a sudden you want to do it. No. Like this is not an all of a sudden thing. You knew this already. But yeah, so I stayed with my brother for a little while, so that I could just kind of like live my life, be who I wanted to be. Altercation happened with my brother. Um,
Oh man.
No.
yeah. I've been through a lot, y'all. An altercation happened with my brother to where I didn't appreciate the type of man he was. I looked up to my brother. He was the only male, figure I had in my life. My father was not around.
Mm-hmm.
So him being in my life, I was just like, cool, I'm gonna get to stay with my brother. I get to like be around my big brother, and he can take me under his wing. My brother owns one of the most well-known carpet cleaning companies in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Mm.
Yes, very. I come from business, so like when y'all see me doing my business, it's because I actually come from it.
Mm-hmm.
So my brothers own the business. My mom and my dad owned the business before I was born, cleaning company. And then I continued that cleaning company. I actually have two businesses. One is called 400 Enterprises, where I do cleaning stuff. And then my other one is, of course, my clothing brand and my brand of production company and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I was going to learn from him. I was like, yeah, it's going to be so awesome. And then I realized my brother had substance abuse issues and he was abusive.
Mm.
So finding that out sent me on a whirlwind as well, because I don't stand for that. I don't stand for, you putting your hands on an individual. I don't stand for any of that. And seeing him be that way and doing stuff like that, I called him out on it. And little did I know, calling him out on it would start a full-blown argument and fight.
Mm.
Wow.
And I told him that he was basically like my father, because my father was abusive as well. He was
Mm.
raised around that, so he had never really healed from all of that stuff. So he was just continuing
That
that
cycle, yeah.
cycle over again.
Mm-hmm.
But I was young, so I was little when it was happening. I was 4 years old. My sister was always shielding me from it. She wouldn't let me really see it when it was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Put me in the room or put me in the closet and hide me away from it, like put headphone stuff on my ears so I wouldn't hear anything.
Mm.
But I told him about that.
Bless your sister for that.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I told him about himself, and he spewed out every gay slur you could ever imagine coming out of a person's mouth. And even one that I will repeat. I hope you guys don't mind me repeating it.
Go ahead. Tell your story.
But he told me at the time I was working out. I've always worked out prior to becoming trans or anything like that. I've always been a health fanatic. And I had protein shakes, and I was always taking them every morning, before I would go work out. And during our argument, he specifically told me that he was going to get the protein shake and shove it up my gay ass.
Mm.
So hearing that from your own sibling to say that they would assault you in that way, then charge at you during a thunderstorm and have nothing to do but have your stuff thrown outside and get in your car and try to drive home 2 hours away in a thunderstorm is quite traumatic.
Yeah.
From then on, I never trusted my brother, even to this day. I've seen my brother since I transitioned. I've been back home. I've gotten to see my
Mm-hmm.
nephews and stuff like that and everything. They're big as hell now, taller than me. But I seen him. He flew me out. He apologized while I was living in Vegas, and he was just like, "I apologize. I'm sorry. You know that I did the stuff that I did to you." But it was just like, what took you so long? Because when I got home, I was forced to apologize to you for what? But you never called and apologized to me.
Mm.
I was forced. When I got home to my mother, I was forced to call him and make amends. When I didn't do anything wrong. All I did was protect my sister-in-law at the time, who was actually in an abusive relationship.
Right.
So these are some of the things that I kind of like reflect on my journey to manhood, because these were the examples I had as far as manhood went. But yeah, that was a pretty traumatic portion of my life. And when I came back to my mom's, I was, of course, about to turn 22. And this is when I was already basically living sort of like socially transitioning as a man, pretty much. And
Mhm.
of course, she just said, you know, I'm not going to force you to go to meetings. I'm not going to force you to be in a religion, but just don't, you know, be talking to anybody while you're in the household, blah, 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 blah. You know, you have a place to stay. Just respect that rule for me, you know. And so I was like, all right, fine, cool, perfect.
Well, they came around at least some. I mean, the fact that not to say that you know it was okay, but still, that it looks like they came around some, and that I mean,
Oh,
we're
just
gonna give them some credit for that. You
Oh,
know what I'm
I give
saying?
them I give them a little bit of
Yeah, a
just a
little bit of
bit,
credit for
just a
you know
smidge.
hold
saying,
your thought.
hey, you know,
Yeah,
go
just a
ahead and
smidge.
do you, but just you know, don't tell everybody, don't
Mm-hmm.
don't
Yep, hold your thought.
advertise. Listen, I want to get to the joy.
We getting there.
Okay, let's
Possibly.
get to the joy, Wyatt, because I know everybody got a story, but it's like you live a joyful life, and I want everybody to know how joyful you are and how you are in living your truth and just doing the damn thing. So
I will say
yeah.
this, Wyatt. Thank you.
Yeah.
For
telling
your story,
absolutely,
telling your truth. And we are so, again, we are so honored that you trust in us to tell your story here
absolutely.
on our podcast, because this is what we do, right? This is what me and this beautiful soul right here, this is what we do, right? And we are so grateful for you to be honest and open enough and trust in us and our audience, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you are able to allow us to give us that, right? Because I know it's not easy to be open like that. So we appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
But
thank you.
and so just to transition, just a little bit, right?
Of course,
We want to get into some current topics because we had a conversation, me and sister here, we had a conversation, and we wanted to touch on something that's been really grinding our gears a little bit. And you know, it's just because we're allies, right?
Right.
And there's been some conversation recently about periods. Right? you had your head down. You know where I'm going with this, right? Yeah, and so these nigglets get on Beyonce Giselle Knows Carter's internet and decide to come out their gullets talking about women don't own the rights to periods, ministrations, right? And these are your trans sisters, right? These are your trans sisters. So let me give you context. There's been conversation from trans women, individuals, right? Individuals,
yes,
that have had the gumption, the gall, right, to say out of their mouths that women don't own the rights to periods. What would you say is your counter argument to that? Because me and Niche have had conversations about that, and for us, and we're trying to tread very lightly, but we felt away. I ain't gonna hold you, because I'm still having my cycle. Nisha's done, right?
Hallelujah.
I'm so happy.
Nisha done with the cycle. She's done. The baby girl had that train cut off a long time ago.
It's in a jar.
Right.
She
told the doctor scrape from here all the way down to the toe lamb. You understand that? She said scrape from here down. Just scrape it.
Take it out.
Right, it's out. So she hadn't had a period, since Abraham. You know what I'm
saying? Abraham, damn.
Father Abraham. I mean, he's right. So, but we felt a way about that conversation. There was so many conversations, and there was so much calamities and chaos between cis het women and trans women. And what I found in this conversation is trans men did not speak up.
Mm-hmm.
did not say, hey, y'all need to knock this shit off.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. So for you, Waya,
Mm-hmm.
what are your 2 cents, right? As far as, again, your experience as a trans man, and what do you have to say regarding who owns the rights? Because let me tell you something. I'm still bleeding and I don't want the shit. Okay, I don't want it, nigga. Yeah. So if you want mother, you can have it. So what is your experience and what do you have to say in regards to this conversation? Because I'm dying to know.
So to clarify, there were some trans men that did speak up on the matter.
Because I didn't hear them. So please,
yeah, of course, you're not. They're gonna
enlighten me.
Shown. We're never shown because trans. I'm just gonna be 100% honest with you. Trans women get more of the publicity than trans men do.
I agree on
that. Trans women have
Facts.
said. Not just me saying that from a perspective. Trans women. That's literally a statistic. There are more trans women of notoriety than there are of trans men. So when a trans woman speaks on a matter, all everybody's going to see is what trans women are saying, not what the trans men are trying to say about the fact. Which is so crazy because we would actually have the actual full experience.
Come on.
Right.
So, but we're not seeing that way because I'm going to be 100% honest with you. There are still people to this day that don't know the difference between a trans woman and a trans man. Okay. That out there. I've had people say that when I say I'm a trans man, they think that I'm transitioning from a male to a female.
Right.
And some trans women have been said that they're transitioning from a woman to a man before. But besides the point, personally, I don't like the wording. I'll say that. I don't agree with the wording there. It's no rights to anything. It's just a natural course of life. Okay. You either have a period or you don't. Okay?
Right.
That's just the way that it goes. I feel that my trans sister that did say that it was taken out of context because most of the time, I'm going to tell you why it was taken out of context because that was a full interview, a full statement.
Absolutely.
It was taken out of context. And of course, I wish she wouldn't had actually said that in the sentence because, of course, people that are against us are going to use whatever piece that they can take, put their own
sensationalization. Right, absolutely.
Yeah, and then they're going to take it and run with it. So that's why you have to be careful with how you say certain things because it will always be
words.
Because they come bites. That's what's in social media. Bites.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, what should have more likely have been said is that women don't own biological women don't own the right to only be called women. That's what should have been said. Period should never be entered into the conversation. Let's just say that because I have a period.
Right.
I haven't been on testosterone for 2 years. I still have to get that crap.
Right.
But I'm a man.
Right.
So it only being owned by women or only being right for women, like that doesn't make me a woman just because I have to deal with that crap every single month. It just means that I haven't been able to afford a freaking hysterectomy. That's all that is right now for me. So yes, I don't agree.
They're wonderful. I'm sorry.
Oh, I know. I can't wait for that glorious day.
Listen, I had to do it for medical. I had to do it because I was like, my periods were so heavy. I had fibroids that were really bad.
Yeah,
and like it was embarrassing. Like I would bleed at work on chairs and stuff. It was so bad.
Right.
I'm suffering from fibroids as well, and
it'll be time for you to get it too. Then soon.
Yeah, well, I can't, unfortunately, because I don't have any children. So the doctor
they make it harder.
They make it harder because if I, they say
I understand.
Right. So I have 3 on my left ovary.
But that's a whole nother issue because you should have the choice. What if you don't want it? A lot of people now are choosing not to have children. I'm not saying that you don't want to have children. We've had those conversations. But if but they shouldn't say, it shouldn't be a law or
Right.
rule like,
Yeah.
no, because you didn't
Right.
have children
Yeah.
yet, so you can't do it. If especially being that it's a medical situation. But hysterectomy, yes, it's wonderful. I was concerned about my am I still gonna get wet, all that crazy stuff, right? I don't have no problems. That's all I'm saying.
As long as it's intact, that's all that matters.
Because when I heard the conversation, right, and I understand that it was a soundbite, and I get that, but my initial reaction as someone that bleeds, right, that bleeds, trust me, we went to Atlanta. I'm gonna tell the story, sis. I'm gonna tell the story. When we were in Atlanta, I was looking at my period calendar, and I was like, oh, I ain't gonna get my period until next week. I'm gonna be cool. I'm gonna be straight.
Came
This
right on.
nigga over here, right? Literally, we flew down that Thursday. I'm cool, right? I'm like, woo, 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 woo. Friday hits. My period comes. And I'm like, sister, my period.
I was on period duty, pad duty.
When I tell you she got the stuff, she ain't had a period since Abraham. But she got my stuff together. She was like, let me get the things.
And then, wait a minute, she wasn't the only one. A couple people was like, you ordering something? Can you give me some pads too? I was like, oh, Lord.
And I don't wear, and I'm telling on my business, I don't wear drawers, y'all, when I'm not on my cycle.
I understand.
So I didn't bring no underwears on the flight, because again, I'm thinking I'm cool. We had to rush to Walmart, get dropped, like it was blood everywhere. You understand what I'm saying? But understand this: when you are, nobody wants to bleed. Nobody wants to bleed. Nobody wants to bleed.
Yeah,
we're not. Nobody. No, who's fighting?
Yeah, I want to piggyback though on the correction on that is that you were saying that biological women don't have the right to only be called women. I totally get that. I respect a trans woman by saying that if they say that I'm a woman. I have some questions, and maybe and you can, being from that being in that community, maybe I'm wrong, and this is a learning lesson for me. Sometimes it's like I can respect pronouns, I can respect how you want to identify, but does it sometimes, I guess I'm wondering, does it become offensive when a woman says I'm a biological woman, or I'm, you know what I'm saying? Like I've heard that sometimes that can be offensive. Like, why do you have to say that? Or, some women don't want to say sis, like I'm feeling like that was like
fine. I don't
forced upon. So let's have that conversation
at this point. I really don't. I don't like. I mean, I'm just gonna be 100% honest with y'all. I don't care whether you call yourself a cis woman. I don't care if you call yourself a biological woman. If you call yourself just a freaking woman, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, womanhood is womanhood. However you want to define it. There are women out here that cannot have children. There are women out here that were born fucking intersex, that decided that they wanted to only identify with their female side. There are women here that don't have no breasts. There are women out here that don't have working fallopian tubes. Like there are women out here that do all types of different levels of being women. There are women that are built more muscular than a man.
True.
So I don't care what the freak you call yourself. I don't. You call yourself a cis woman. You can say you're a biological woman, because that's the facts. Sex and gender are separate. Your sex is different than your gender. Gender is a construct. Your sex is just what you were born as. At the end of the day, if you identify with what you were born as, I'm so happy for you. Give you a round of applause. Thank the Lord. Happy hallelujah. Okay, so happy for you. We just happen to not identify with what we were born as, and that's the second point of it. And that's people are making it more complicated than it needs to be. If you're a woman, you're a woman. You're a man, you're a man. You're trans, you're trans. You're a non-binary, you're non-binary. You're asexual, you're asexual. You're queer, you're queer. Leave it where it's at. It doesn't need a comparison. I'm not comparing. I'm gonna tell y'all something right now. I am a man, right?
Absolutely.
I don't never want to be a biological man. I'll never want to be a cis man. I'll tell you that right now. With the intelligence levels that they have at this point of life right now, I don't want to be grouped into that group with them people.
Right.
Point.
I just wanted to bring that up. I appreciate it because, again, the reason why I ask is because you being in that community, like, it, you know, is that offensive, you know, and just understanding that, because, again, as allies,
we want to learn.
Yeah. But we also give our perspective too, because like I may say I'm a biological woman, and I'm like, why is that? You know, or I may say I don't want to say cisgender or something like that. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people, a lot of women who say that or don't agree with that, and then it's like, how is it? I always wonder, like, why is that offensive? If I'm still respecting you and where you stand. That's why I was just wanted to ask that.
Yeah, so I feel like it's just that it triggers some trans women's dysphoria, because it kind of equals out to them being called not a real woman, or, you know,
okay, I understand.
Real. And it's just the context in which a person uses it. So if you're saying, oh, well, I'm a biological woman, it's your
right. Well, of course,
it's how you say it.
Right.
You know, I was born.
Absolutely.
You know, it's how you say it. So yeah, we can tell.
And I tell all my trans girls out there, all my sisters out there, listen, you're a woman like me. I'm gonna respect you, but I want you to respect me back.
Exactly.
And that's where I felt like the disconnect when it came to the period conversation was. I felt very disrespected. I'm not even gonna hold you, Waya, because there was a lot of talking, right, and not enough understanding. Right, it was basically listening to respond kind of energy, and not understanding where women who have periods and trans men who also have periods, because we understand that, right? So, there was a lot of disrespect, Waya, that I felt like, listen, y'all don't even, do you want the motherfucker? Because I'll give it to you. Here.
No, that's why I said it was a soundbite, and really took it out of construction. So what she was actually saying, I'm going to just narrow it down, and we can actually, like, this will probably just completely divulge the whole situation.
Right.
She was saying that in a sense of, we also have periods. And women were trying to say that only women can have periods. Yes, as a born female, I can have a period, but that doesn't
make you a woman. Right.
Validate that.
Got it. Okay. So okay, totally understand. Yeah. No, thanks for clarifying that.
Right. Yeah, but there was also there.
I didn't watch the video. I don't know. I don't know the whole. I know it was a lot of. All I saw was sound bites, so I don't even know.
And I did, and then there was a lot of back and forth between other trans women who are in the entertainment industry, and it just got ugly. It started becoming this thing, and
I know some of those women, so I understand.
Right, and
they're
then
very, very vocal.
Because my thing was, I'm like, where are the trans men? Where are the trans men? Where are y'all at? What is going on? Why are y'all not saying nothing? What is going on?
At the same time, you got to think that periods in general trigger us.
Right.
We don't want to have a conversation about a piece of us that we don't even want there.
Right.
Like, we're not women. We don't want to have a conversation that's meant for women.
Right. It just it's a part of your life, but it's not like you really trying to be vocal about it.
Yeah, I don't want to be vocal about that. Trust and believe me, I don't want no kids. I'm never having no kids, and I want to get rid of these damn tubes. I don't
I understand.
Get out.
So Waya, let's talk about, we talked about your journey. We talked about some, some news and just, perspectives on things. And thank you for sharing your perspective and clarifying for us. Tell us what's going on with you. Like, what are you doing now? Like, where are you? Like, how are you finding joy in your life? What is going on with Waya?
Oh man, y'all want to know about my business.
We want to know your business.
And that gorgeous girlfriend you got.
Just a cutie pie. Don't come to Phoenix without her. So now
Oh, she's coming. She's a part of my whole clothing
I
brand.
know.
So I mean, personally, with that part, of course, that is a big part of my joy. Is being in a relationship, a healthy relationship, and a stable relationship. But I keep that very exclusive between her and I, just because I am in the public eye, and there has been a big shift in my popularity due to me being in a relationship. So I just keep that protected. Let's just say that.
Got it.
I keep that 100% protected. But it's not no secret that I'm with somebody. So like that's not a secret or anything. But as far as details go into that, we are happy, we are healthy, and
And
we are
that's good. That's great.
That's
And we
awesome.
can see that. We can see that
yeah,
truly.
like we do our thing and we stay away from drama and all those issues. But I mean, as far as
We
me,
love that.
as far as everything goes, you know, breaking barriers has brought me such joy. You know, with the history of everything that I've told you guys, that some of the things I've told you guys that I've been through, and being the man that I am now, like I look back at that and I'm like, there were times, like I can tell y'all right now, I'm very happy I'm still here. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Because I would have never got to see who this person is.
Yeah.
And that gives me joy. Waking up every morning gives me joy. Rising, I don't say morning, rising. Waking up every rising gives me joy. You know, when I go on, I just recently, here's a good example of some joy that I got. Yesterday, I had made my Trans Awareness Week video, talking about being a trans individual in the industry and having to break through so many stereotypical views of what it is to be a trans man. In the industry, especially a Black trans man. I have a lot of Black trans male friends that have also been in the industry. A few of them y'all probably don't even know. Some of them have been on Pose, and stuff like that. Leif Ashley was on like the second season of Pose, where he danced on Candy, the character Candy. Real pretty, light skin, got pretty eyes.
Yes.
Like yes, that's one of my
one
friends
of my
too.
favorite trans men is on the show 911 911 Lone Star.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Amazing
I forget their
character.
name.
And they even did a character art, a character story where he had
was
met a
wrapped around
woman and he was dating her, and the whole thing about revealing his
they
that he was
rewrote
trans.
so that it would be about him and his actual transition.
Yeah, it was great. It was
It's
great.
really cool. It's really
It was
cool
a
to see that.
great storyline.
Yeah, but recently yesterday I had a lady come to that post, and she just simply asked in the comment section, she's like, I'm trying to find a binder for my son. Can anybody help me get a binder?
Oh,
And
I saw that.
and so I was just like, okay, well, I'll make a video. I mean, I have some influential people, like that's what I use my platforms for. And let's do this. So I made the video. Within 2 hours, my friend said that he would get him a binder.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that just, to me, and then the conversation that we had in the DM brought me to tears, because it renewed my faith in what and why I'm doing this. Because there's a lot of times where, like, when I did that video, I really meant that, like, I have felt very invalidated throughout this industry. Just because, like, oh, well, you just had to get used to people saying she, her, or, mistakenly calling you misgender, and I don't. I don't care what industry I'm in. You're going to respect me for who I am. That's considered discrimination no matter what industry you're in.
Right.
So I have had to deal with all of that. And just hearing her say, I showed him your pictures of you modeling and this and this and that. And like, just seeing that, I was like, wow, this matters, because this kid is like 10 years younger than me. So, he's a kid. He's a young man. So,
and the mama supporting. That's amazing.
And his father was also supportive, but has passed.
Oh, that's a blessing.
But finding out that, I was just like, I broke down and I cried, because I was just like, this matters. What I'm doing matters. I broke down and cried out of joy, because I was like, what I'm doing is making a difference. I'm doing something. This is actually changing people's lives. Like, and I tell people all the time, you will never, but a lot of people don't believe it, but yes, I can have 80 something thousand followers on TikTok. I could grow to have 100 something thousand followers on Instagram. But what will always matter to me is moments like that. I don't care how many of y'all like my content. I don't care how thirsty y'all are for me. I don't care about none of that, because that comes a dime a dozen. There's women out there right now still looking at my picture on the calendar right now. Like, like I don't care about that. Yes, by the way, I am.
I know you've been putting out some little sexy pictures though. I was
yeah.
like, okay, no,
I know I'm a very attractive
I'm trying to
individual.
be in that throuple. I'm trying to tell you.
But yeah, that's also
Yeah.
another thing. You know, modeling has opened me up to so much beautiful expression and love and positivity of my body.
Yes.
And I tell people all the time, I mean, I had an OF. I was all out there. Like, my body was out there. Everybody done seen every inch of me, and I didn't care. I really didn't, because I said to myself, I said, why should I have to wait to get a surgery to feel positive about myself?
Right.
Why should I have to stoop to stereotypical acceptance and hetero norms to feel good about my body?
Right.
And as soon as I posted them pictures, I mean, I had people in my DMs talking about, oh my God, like, you have a gorgeous body. I did not know trans men can look like this. I was like, yeah, we definitely grow down there, so stop playing with me. Like, stop playing with me. I don't need no extension to get into where I need to get into. Baby.
Right.
So that was like a big joy for me. So like my trans, we say this in the trans community, I have Black trans joy. Black trans man joy. And there are certain aspects and certain just moments, whether it be social media, in person, like even meeting you guys, y'all gave me Black trans boy joy, because it was just like, oh my God, he's so handsome. He's here in person. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm cute, y'all.
Well, for me, and like, you know, just I love conversations. It was just the conversations that we had that was just so inspiring, so amazing. Like, you taught me so much, like when I came to your table and we talked, because as we go out and we have conversations with people as allies, we want to make sure that we saying, you know what I'm saying, that we're giving the right perspective. We're sharing the right, we're giving the right education, because you don't know what you don't know. And so always getting perspectives from many different people. And that's the reason why, you know, we have all the platforms and different things that we do to expose people, and also, you know, give you guys a platform and help you grow as well. So we thank you so much for taking the time to come and sit with us and talk.
Of course.
We are so looking forward to you coming to the Melanated Sex Expo in February.
Yeah. Oh, I got something real special in
I know. I'm so excited.
So when we do the cosplay, I'm gonna do two different things.
I know. I gotta listen. I gotta get my costume on.
Like when we announced the cosplay, right? When we announced it, how excited were you?
I'm up in the camera. Hold on.
I know. I saw some of your. I already saw a lot of your costumes, so I'm really itching to see what it is that you gonna do. I like too in the DMs as somebody else who's going to do a class and perform. Erotic poet Carmel was like, "You gonna be there, Waya?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they was like, "Oh my God, I can't wait to meet you." So I'm so excited about all the different connections that are gonna get made, and that's why we do what we do. Is that we're trying to bring, you know, it's a small community, the melanated community, our sex positive, sex educators, all of that. And let's come together. It's about collaboration over competition.
Yeah, it's funny because when I saw that comment, I was like, oh yeah, that's Karma. I've read her poetry on my YouTube page.
Oh yeah, well, she'll be there. She's coming.
Yeah, I do. I've read some of her poetry on my YouTube page, and of course, I do spoken word myself as well. Yeah, YouTube, y'all know all the social media platforms. So.
Yeah, we know it all. So tell everybody where people can find you. We're gonna put it in the show notes, but tell everybody where they can find you, Waya.
Let's go through the list. All right. So you can find me on TikTok, of course, which is where I was most viral. Instagram, Threads, Twitter, YouTube, and I think that's it. Oh, I also have Facebook too. So yeah, so that's
it's all Waya the Healer.
Everything's Waya the Healer except for the Twitter. I think the Twitter has an underscore in it. I think it's Waya _ the Healer on my Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll make sure that we get your information out there.
like all of that.
And you guys make sure you guys get your tickets. They're on sale now for the expo.
Yes.
It's gonna be
Go
real
get your
sexy. Is this gonna be your first time meeting King Noir and Jet Setting Jasmine?
Yes.
Oh, so you're in for a treat.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just about as bad as when I met was it Sir Marvelous?
Yes.
Yeah, and Sir Marvelous and the Unicorn. I was just like, ah, dang, they really like this. Like,
Yes.
He was killing me though. I was like, I've been wanting one of them, and when he had the harness for the mic drop.
Looking forward to the most, Waya? Like, are you looking forward to the free community event that's happening that Friday night at Grassroots Bookstore? Mm-hmm. Are you looking forward to King Noir and Jasmine performing?
That for sure.
Like, what are you most looking forward to? Like, what is gonna be like it?
It's gonna be dang, it's a lot. But like I said, it's definitely gonna be the cosplay, a cosplay event for sure.
So like that's like your top.
That's my top because I've never gotten to go to a Comic-Con or anything.
Wow.
Yeah, well, yeah, this is gonna be our little mini kinky Comic-Con. I mean, it's gonna be like our sexy sultry Comic-Con. We got everything is gonna be with a little sexy twist.
Yeah. I don't give a dang. I'm coming sexy. I got my leather harness ready.
Oh shit. Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh, and just so y'all know, like I said, Raphael will be in the building, and I want y'all to understand.
Is that your alter ego?
I want you to understand. I want y'all to go and take a good look at my Raphael content.
Okay, I'm happy
because that person is not who you're talking to right now. Okay, okay, that's an alter ego of mine.
Okay,
that is my kink. That's who you address me as in my kink in my dom setting. Raphael is the dom. Okay, so
now we're ready to meet Raphael. So
fangs and all.
Yeah, so everybody, you guys got to make sure you get to the expo.
Yes.
Melanated Sex Expo, February 24th and 25th at a disclosed location, a sexy mansion. It's gonna be a sexy event. And
excited, Why, for the mansion? Like, I just went there yesterday to we just went there yesterday to wrap up some things and go over some stuff. So y'all minds are about to be blown by this house. Like, I don't think y'all are ready.
And if y'all ain't there, then you just ain't gonna be there.
Right. You're gonna miss it. And it's gonna be limited tickets because it's, you know what I'm saying? Everybody can't come. So if you feel special, you want to be treated special and have some fun, then make sure you come. Thank you so much, Waya, for being a part of our show.
Yes.
And we can't wait to see you.
Yes.
Thank you for helping us wrap up Trans Awareness Week by being a part of the show. And we'll get the show out. It won't be Trans Awareness Week, of course, when the show airs, but we appreciate you bringing awareness to it all over social media and all of your charity, just the joy that you give and being a role model and mentor to all of those people out here that don't know where to go as they're trying to live their authentic life. So thank you for that. And we love you for that. And we can't wait to see you. All right, everybody. You guys just watched the episode of Sex, Love, and the Black Experience. And thank you so much for tuning in. And we'll see you soon.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for watching Sex, Love, and the Black Experience podcast. Please continue to tune in and keep watching. And follow us at omgoddesses.com. Join our VIP list. Or Facebook and IG at omgoddesses20 and Twitter at omgoddesses.